5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show right here on Magic TV.
Wait, did you say Sunday?
No, I said Wednesday. Right here on Magic TV. Wednesday on Magic TV.
Okay.
Where myself and Ryland look at the latest, greatest magic tricks that have been released to the magic community.
Not always greatest.
Not always greatest. In fact, on this week's show, we've got two really good tricks, and we've got two tricks that aren't that great, or at least one of them. One of them he really doesn't like. I'm kind of not as against it as he is, but we'll get to that in a bit. We're going to start off with actually a really cool trick, and this is brand new, and we're going to go and look at this right now. Yeah. So first up, we have 3D deck, I don't know how you pronounce it, by Adrian Vega. And what this is basically is a gimmick that you would kind of incorporate into a card routine that would allow you to have kind of a really cool finale to the end of a card routine. Yes. Think the Omni deck. So, you know, like the classic Omni deck where the deck becomes crystal clear? Yeah. This is the same sort of thing, but instead of the deck becoming crystal clear, basically all the cards vanish and you're left with just a frame, if you imagine. Yeah. The best way to describe it, if you've ever seen The Hollow Deck by Simon Lovell, where he cuts to the 4 queens and then all the other cards are being cut out. It's like that, except it's made out of plastic. So it's kind of like the entire deck vanishes and you're left with this kind of plastic cutout that looks like the outside of a deck. It's the best way to describe it, right? Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of different routines on the project.
I'm going to do one and he's going to do one.
Yeah, because there's 3 main routines on there. And we'll quickly talk about the 3 main routines. Yeah. The first one, the main routine, you really don't like that routine, do you? Mm. That's the one that I'm going to be performing for you in a minute. That's the one that Adrian says is his favourite routine. And you've basically got a red deck and a blue deck, and there's a coincidence routine built into it. And at the end of the coincidence routine, you've got this this vanish of the deck. The second routine, which is the one that he's going to perform, is what they call the easy routine. Now, you like this, not because it's the easy routine, but just because you thought that this was a better way of doing it, didn't you? Yeah. And then, after that, there's a third routine that involves just one deck of cards, and Adrian goes through how to switch a deck using a rubber band, very similar to the Sean Farquhar method of... Yeah, exactly, and goes through the Sean Farquhar method of actually... you know, switching one deck for another, so you can kind of have the deck end up, you know, in this impossible object after an ambitious card or whatever it is you want to do. So there's a lot of different ways of doing this, but Ryland's favourite way of doing it is the easy handling. So we're going to get you to perform that first, yeah? Yeah. Let's have a look at that right now.
I've got 2 decks of cards here. I have a blue deck.
Okay.
Normal blue deck, yeah?
Yeah, blue deck.
All there, all different.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Don't know if they're all there, but they're all different.
Okay.
Okay. I've also got a red pack here.
Okay.
A red pack.
So I'll put the boxes over there.
Yeah, put the boxes over there.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do is with the blue pack, I'm going to get you to just say stop for me.
Stop.
There.
Yeah.
First card. So stop again.
Stop.
That's your second card.
Okay. Do I look at them?
Yeah. I'll look away. Show the camera.
Okay. Show the camera?
Yeah.
Can the camera see that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 cards, yeah. Okay.
Got your 2 cards. Now, without even knowing what those 2 cards are, I'm going to pull those 2 cards out of this pack.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That would be good.
See? Look, what's this? Hang on. Gotta get ready for this, look.
Okay.
It's the first one.
Okay.
Gotta get the second one now, haven't I?
Yeah.
We get the next one. That's the next one.
Okay.
Do you know what?
What?
I'm gonna see this. Hey, look at that. Do you know what? We can do more magic with these.
Really?
See the red, look. These cards are magic. Watch this.
The deck's vanished.
I know, it does, yeah.
That's very cool. Okay, so that's your favourite routine. Yeah. Now, you really like that, don't you?
Yeah.
It's very practical, that method, in that you don't require a table. You can do it anytime, anywhere. The blue deck that you use to have the 2 cards selected. That can be a shuffle deck of cards in use, and you can just like cull or cut the 2 particular cards that you need to the top of the deck. The red deck is set up, and you can bring the red deck out at the beginning, and then you can bring it into the routine at the end, and you can end up with the red deck obviously being in a situation where it's completely hollow. Yeah. The problem with that routine is they don't examine the red deck, or they don't feel like they examine the red deck. So the blue deck's in play the entire time, but with the red deck, you just bring it and you just apparently pull those 2 cards out the deck. Now, you changed the handling, didn't you? Because how Adrian does it with that particular routine is he kind of gets a tilt break, and he reaches into the tilt break and pulls out the 2 cards. You were kind of going more from the bottom of the deck, weren't you? Kind of like more of a pull-off from the bottom of the deck, which I do agree kind of looks better than the way that it's done on the tutorial. But yeah, the weakness in that, in my opinion, is that the red deck can't be examined. Now, with the other routine, which you don't like, and we can have a discussion about this, the big advantage is it feels like they've seen the red deck, and it feels like they've seen a blue deck. Because of how the routine is constructed. You don't like it because you don't like the switch between the 2 decks, do you? Because there's a moment halfway through where they've picked a card from the red deck, and then you pick up the blue deck and you spread the blue deck.
I can tell when you first showed me, it was like you switched the decks, man.
Yeah,
I can literally blatantly tell.
And I do agree with you that the switch is done at precisely the wrong moment. Because you've just had this red card put down onto the table, you then pick up the blue deck. It's an on-beat. It's a moment where people are focused on that moment right there. It's not like it's happening on the offbeat. It's not. It's happening when everyone's attention is on those 2 decks of cards, and that's where you've got to do the switch. So I do see what you're talking about, but I do like the idea of actually incorporating this into it so that you feel like you've seen both decks of cards. Because for me, that's the weakness behind the method that you like. I'm going to perform that for you, just so you can see the 2 routines side by side. Ryland, you've got 2 packs of cards. I've got a blue deck and I've got a red deck. The red deck goes there and the blue deck goes there. Okay? Yeah. The rest of the cards not important. Put those over there. Put the card boxes over there. This is all that we need. Now, I need you to grab a card from here, and I don't want you to see it. So I'm going to shuffle through the cards. Just say stop.
Stop.
Right there, you sure? Yeah. I'm going to put the card right there that you stopped on. Now, it's very important that nobody knows what that card is until later on, okay? Yeah. But I want you to remember. Now from the blue deck, we're going to do something as well. I'm going to spread the cards out. And what I want you to do, take your finger and go back and forth, and anytime you want to, just say stop. Just stop and come down on one card. That card right there, are you sure? Mm-hmm. The Queen of Diamonds. Are you happy with that card? Yes. Now, you took this card out of the red deck, didn't you? Yeah. And you had a free choice, and you had a free choice of any card from this deck. Isn't it crazy that you were able to get the Queen of Diamonds out of this deck as well? How cool is that? That is cool. It's pretty cool, right? But I'm going to go one step further. You see, if I take this Queen of Diamonds and just put it on top of the deck and rub, what I can do is I can actually make every single card in the pack vanish completely. Wait, what? That's crazy, right? And I tell you, other than the Queen of Diamonds, there's the red deck. Sorry, there's the blue deck. There's the red deck. You can examine everything. What? The other thing with that routine that I just performed is you do need a table with that handling. You can't really get away with not using a table.
But you could keep the red deck. With mine, you could keep the red deck in the pocket and bring it out later.
Yep.
Once you can show the blue deck, get them to pick the 2 cards, put the blue deck back in its pack, put that away, get the red deck, do the thing with the red deck. Yeah. Turn it into the thing.
The other way of using it, obviously, is to have the deck set up in the pocket, do whatever routine you want to do. Adrian goes through wrapping an elastic band around the deck, having someone pick a card, wrap the elastic band around the deck, doing a deck switch, finding the card from the deck in whatever way that you want to do, and then obviously at the end you've got the vanish of all of the cards. Lots of different ways that you can do it. What do you think? I actually really like this as a project. I think that it's quite clever. The gimmick, where is the gimmick? It's in the pack of cards. Can you pass me the gimmick? You also get all of the gimmick playing cards. You know, you get red, blue double backers, red double backers. You get everything you need to do the routine. Part. Come over here.
The part when you do this is my favourite part.
It does really look like it's coming from the middle of the deck. I do agree. Well, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. You do this. Put that one.
Yeah, that does look good.
And you get the 2 cards.
They watched you do it. They know what you're doing.
You get the 2 cards and then you put it on top and you go. Rubby-dubby-dubby-dub.
Yeah, I mean, that is an impossible object. That's what I quite like about this. This is why it's going to get a good review.
Yeah.
I do like this. I think that the Omni deck has been done to death. I've done Hollow Deck by Simon Lovell for years. I've done it on the Magic Lives. I think it's absolutely great. I quite like the idea of this. I think that...
But this is mine. You're going to have to get another one.
That's absolutely fine. I know you're going to put this on Instagram, but let me just talk about what I like about it.
We've already found it.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You and your mum. I like that moment right there where, you know, I think that's a really beautiful moment. You know, they think that the deck is perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden you get this moment where everything vanishes. I just think it's really smart. I think that, you know, card magicians are always looking for a nice way to end a card routine, and I think this is, you know, up there with the Omni deck and the card to wallet and, you know, color changing decks and all this sort of stuff. I do really like that moment, and I love the fact that it's completely examinable with both routines, with all the different routines. When you've done that change,
if you want
everything is examinable.
To get them to examine this, you just need to do something like...
You're just going to do a gambler's cop. Yeah, just do a gambler's cop of the 1 card. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's really smart. I think that although the tutorial's well done...
I can't properly palm a card, so I'll have to do...
Yeah, you can cop a card, you just can't do a full palm yet, exactly. Although the, you know, it's a half an hour tutorial. It goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Adrian is a very good teacher of magic, and it's just a solid routine. He doesn't like the first routine. I think it's pretty good, but I do agree that that moment needs to be worked on. But the whole idea as a whole, I think that the best application of this has yet to be discovered, and I think that... Are you going to start doing card manipulation now, are you? I think the best application of this is yet to be discovered, and I genuinely think that there's going to be somebody who buys this and comes up with a really good idea for it. I'm going to give it 90%. I think it's good. I'm going to be playing around with it and working it.
I want this to be Trick of the Week.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know what's coming up, and I think it's really strong. What are you giving it then? I'm giving it 90%.
I'm going to give it 100.
Okay, so there you go. It's 100% from Ryland. It's 90% from me. It's highly recommended. You can get it from all good magic dealers. It's a Murphy's item. Let's have a look at the next trick. Okay, so the next product that we have for review is Definitive by Christopher Rawlins. Now, Christopher Rawlins is one of the top mentalists in the world. He has released some incredible mentalism over the years with places like Vanishing Ink and a lot of his own creations. And what he has here is his own book test. And the book test is actually built into a dictionary. Now, I actually think that the dictionary is the absolute best book that you can use for a book test. Yes. Because everybody knows that pretty much every single word you could possibly imagine is in there. And
with books, you might not have it.
No.
But with a dictionary, it's got pretty much every single word.
And this is completely gimmick to the hilt. But it looks just like a dictionary should look. That's one of the things that I really love about this. It really looks like a dictionary. And I think that Chris has spent a long time making sure that it looks just like a dictionary. But it's capable of a whole bunch of different stuff. So the main routine, which I'm going to perform for you in a minute, is basically that you hand someone a dictionary, you have them think of a word, you hand somebody else a dictionary, you have them think of a word, you very clearly tell them both words they're thinking of, and then you go into this sequence where you actually tear one of the pages out the book and you get the spectator to tear them up into pieces.
I think there's still a piece in there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, you see, and I'll get to that in a minute, but they tear it up into 8 pieces. You get them to pick up any piece, look at any word on any of those pieces, and you can instantly tell them what word they're thinking of, or you can even predict it because you're going to know without any fishing what that word is. That's the main routine. There's a lot more that you can do with this, and the tutorial is 2.5 hours. It is not 2.5 hours of waffle either. It is 2.5 hours of really smart, intelligent thinking. Christopher Rawlins really knows his stuff when it comes to this, And really, there's hardly any people that are better. When he explains things, he goes through things with a fine-tooth comb. And he doesn't just explain the routine. What he does, and what's really nice to see, is he explains the nuances behind the routines. He explains the psychology behind the routines, why he does every single thing. And there's so much thinking that's gone into this book. It has been designed specifically for this. And he talks about all the different design features and why he's done what he's done and so on and so forth. And it's very tempting when you're watching this product or this project to, you know, skip through the tutorial because it is so long. But please don't do that, because there is so much gold in here. It's crazy. Beyond the main routine, there's so many other things. Like, for example, one thing that you can do as a bonus routine is you can literally have them open up a page anywhere, and you can have them look at any one of the words on that page, and there are absolutely tons of them. You can then have them, you can then, direct statements, no fishing. You can say, you know, your word is broken up into a couple of different words, isn't it? Yeah, think of the first word. You can predict that with no fishing. You can then tell them the second word, the second part of the word. You can tell them the whole word. Then you can go into the main routine. There's a bookmark included in here that has other routines built into it as well. I mean, the whole thing is just brilliant. It really is. The whole thing is just brilliant. Absolutely, completely and totally brilliant in every way, shape or form. I'm going to do a performance for you, so you can have a look at a performance. I'm going to perform it to Ryland and Sarah behind the camera, and then we'll talk about what we think. Right, okay, so I'm here with Ryland, and I've also got Sarah behind the camera, your mum, obviously. Yeah. And we're going to do something with the Collins English Dictionary. Now, you are very used to dictionaries, aren't you, right?
Yes.
Because you use dictionaries.
Best dictionary user in my class.
Best dictionary user in your class. There you go, it's very impressive. And your mum's been using dictionaries for years because she used to be a teacher. Now, obviously, you know as well as me how a dictionary works, right? Is there's lots of different words. The words are in bold, and then the definition is underneath, right? Yeah. That's going to become important later on. Now, in a second, I'm going to get you to open to a page somewhere in the middle of this book, right? And what you're going to do, Ryland, I want you to look at the left-hand side, and you're going to look at the very top word on the left-hand page, wherever you open up. So in this case, that would be cleverness. Right? Now, Sarah, what I want you to do is I want you to look on the left-hand page. I'm then going to give the book to you. You're going to look on the left-hand page of where you've opened up, and you're going to look at the bottom word of the left-hand page. So in this case, Latin. It would be Latin. You get the idea? Yeah. If we went one further, you would have about, and your mum would have person. You can do that? Now, obviously, don't let me see, so don't hold it to the camera, or I can see, or anyone else can see. Keep it to yourself. So open up somewhere in the middle. Yeah, so just take it, open it up somewhere in the middle, and have a look at the word at the top left. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Close it up. You're going to remember that word.
Yeah.
Very important you remember that word, because if you forget it, it's not very good. Yeah. All right? Now, you're going to do the same thing. Open up somewhere in the middle. And what I want you to do is look at the word on the left-hand page, last word. If you can do that for me, that would be great. And tell me when you're done. Yeah. And pass me the dictionary back. So you're both thinking of a word right now. It's fair to say there's literally tens of thousands of words in the English dictionary. There's no way I could know what the words are that you guys are thinking of. Yeah. I want to concentrate. Both of you concentrate on your words. Okay, that's interesting. This is something that you hold in your hand. Is that right? You could hold this in your hand. Yeah. This isn't like a house or something. Yeah. Same with you, Sarah. You could hold this in your hand. Is that right?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm actually getting an impression of an actual wrist, not from you, from you. Is this something to do with a wrist, Sarah? Is this something to do with a wrist, maybe?
Yes.
It is. And I'm getting a metallic... Are you thinking of silver right now? Or are you thinking of...
I don't know.
You're thinking of metal, though, definitely, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't know, really. I'm not sure.
Well, you're not thinking of metal or anything like that. You're thinking of... This is something that you can eat.
Yeah.
You have eaten this.
I think I have.
This is something you're not too keen on, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Right, okay. I think, now bearing in mind, you could have thought of any word, any page, absolutely anything. I think your mom, Sarah, I think you are thinking of a bracelet.
Yes.
And I think you're thinking of mango, is that right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Now we're going to go one step further. You thought of mango, right? So I'm going to find the mango page. Here it is. Mango, that's what you're thinking of, right? Yeah. And I'm going to do something you should never do with the dictionary. You know what?
Wait, what?
I'm going to rip the page out.
What?
I'm going to rip the page out. I'm going to rip the I'm going to rip it out.
Wait, you know what you're
I know. I'm gonna rip it out. Now, this is what we're going to do. You should never do this at school.
Mummy's page is normal.
You should never do this at school, but I'm going to let you do this. What I want you to do is take this and tear it down the middle. You see the middle thing? Tear it down the middle. All the way. Neatness counts, apparently, which is important. Now, when your teacher speaks to you next time you use the dictionary, your dad did not tell you it's okay to rip the dictionary up, okay? That's important. Put the two pieces together. No, like that. That's it, cool. And then turn them that way, okay? And rip them down the middle again. That's it. Put them together and rip them down the middle again. So we have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pieces. Look at this. All different pieces. Lots and 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 lots of pieces. There's your mango. Now this is what we're going to do. I don't know how many have we got all together? Quite a few. What we're going to do in a minute is I'm going to turn around. When I do, I want you to pick one of them up and look at it, and I want you to look at it and tell me when you're looking at it. Okay? But you're going to turn it around. So you're going to pick it up and turn it around because I've seen the words on this side. So you're going to pick it up and you're going to turn it around. We'll mix them up first. Okay? So I'm going to turn away, pick one of them up, and turn it over so you can see it. Tell me when you're done.
I am done.
So you're looking at one of the pieces, yes?
Yeah.
Now, can you see one of those bold words on there?
Yes, I can see two.
Okay. So can you pick one of them? Is that all right?
Yeah.
You got one?
Yeah.
Okay, look at it and remember it.
Okay.
Okay, so put it down. Put it down on the table. And I'm going to put them away, so I can't see anything. Just put them in your pocket or something. Or over there, out the way. Okay, so concentrate. Think about it. You took a page, you ripped it up into lots of little pieces. You took any one of those pieces, you looked at any word. Think of the first letter. It's an M.
Yeah.
Think of the last letter. It's an N, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really long word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you heard of this word before? Because I'm getting the same sort of confusion. Yeah, this is a place.
Yeah.
This is a place. It also means other things, but you're thinking of a place right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Think of a letter in the middle of the word. It's interesting, you went back and forth between a H and an A.
Yeah.
Yeah, you settled on the A, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You're thinking of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Boom.
I love that performance.
Well, thank you.
This is a very good trick.
I don't perform it as well as Chris, trust me. That's the thing, there's a whole bunch of live performances on here as well. So you actually get to see it performed in a real life situation, which is really nice to see. I always love that. You said you had questions for me.
Yes.
Go on. What are the questions?
Do you need a table?
Do you need a table? No, dude, you don't need a table. The beautiful thing about this, like some of the performances you're seeing Chris doing, it's just a very relaxed performance sitting around the table and he just brings a book out. But this is also the sort of thing that you can do on stage. Like this would work to a massive audience. If you're a mind reader and you're doing serious mind reading, you could bring somebody up on stage and you could do a multi-phase routine with just this book. Yes. Or you can incorporate this book into a longer set of routines with books and a longer book test. So it works on stage and it works close up. Can I mention one other thing as well?
Yeah.
I've seen a few people that have said, oh, they don't like tearing a page out of a dictionary. And I get where they're coming from. It's kind of a weird thing. You know, obviously that first happened in Random Happenings and then I've seen it a couple of other times. But in all honesty, well, two things on this. One, if you don't want to tear out the page in the book, you don't have to. You can actually do it without tearing out a page in the book. However, I do think that really adds to it. I think that the shock of somebody tearing out a page in the book kind of really just focuses their attention on what you're doing. It's a little bit like a magician taking a playing card and tearing it up. Lay people don't possibly think for 1 second that a magician would ever do that, because it's, why would you do that, right? It's the same thing with this book. You start tearing a page out of it and it's like, oh my gosh, is taking this kind of seriously. And even though you're tearing a page out of the book, it makes absolutely no difference because you're instantly reset. And that's the other thing, you're instantly reset. You know, you just tear another page out and another page out. Yes, eventually, if you like the tear out thing, you're eventually going to have to buy another one of these, but they are priced reasonably enough that you could do that. So I don't think it's an issue, but I did want to bring that to your attention.
Yeah.
I've talked a lot, haven't I?
Yeah.
Because I love this. I think this is really good. I think this is the sort of thing that you could just throw in your case and you're good. You see a lot of close-up magicians that are doing stage shows these days. This is something that you can just throw into a close-up case and you could do at a, you know, at an event very, very easily. It would play to a huge audience. Or you're going up to a table in a close-up job. This is something that you can do to the whole table. It's very versatile. The only thing that I would say is, obviously, I'm not a mind reader. I do mental magic, but in kind of a very funny, comedic way. I don't know if I could pull this off.
Like YMCA.
Yeah, like YMCA. I don't know if I could pull this off. I really don't. I don't think that I'm the sort of person that could pull off a serious demonstration of mind reading.
I'm going to give this 95%.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 95% as well. I think it's brilliant.
So you might do it then.
No, I want to give it a go. I just don't think I'm going to be able to I don't think I'm going to be able to do it justice because my style as a performer.
Craig Petty opens up a page and goes.
Don't forget. But I really like this. I love the look at the prediction on the thing. So much different stuff that you can do. I'm going to give it 95% as well. If you're looking for something that packs small, plays big, I know that's a cliched thing, but if you're wanting something that packs small, plays big, as long as your character can pull something like this off, go for it. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's highly recommended. You can get it directly from Chris or from all good magic dealers. Okay, so next up we have Visual Pen by Axel Vergnaud. I think Vergnaud. And this is, if you've seen the trailer for this, this is basically the whole idea. The main routine on this is that somebody picks a card. When they pick a card, it's lost into the deck. You then take a Sharpie marker and the Sharpie marker turns into a playing card, a rolled up playing card with the Sharpie cap still on, and it's their card. That's basically it. You've also got like an appearing Sharpie marker where you reach in and you take out like this black thing that changes into, slowly morphs into a Sharpie. There's a whole bunch of different stuff you can do with it, but it's the concept of a pen visually appearing or a pen visually changing into something else or even vanishing. Now, there's two parts to this, and I'm going to do a performance in a minute. The first part is with a pull, so I'm not giving too much away by saying that this uses a pull for the majority of the handlings in the project. Not all of them, but the majority. So please bear that in mind, because the hookup is not based around having it on your trousers. The hookup is based around having a jacket on over you. So there are clothing requirements. There are clothing requirements to this routine, which is...
It's not the shoelace tie.
Yeah, well, there are clothing...
You're not putting it down your leg.
No, you're having it... You need a jacket on, basically, in order to make this work. There is one handling where you don't need it, and you're going to palm the gimmick off. I'm going to perform that for you because I don't have the ability to wear a pull with me today. I'm not wearing a jacket or anything. So I'm going to perform for you the handling that doesn't require the pull. And you can kind of see exactly what it looks like in a real life situation. So let's have a look at that first of all.
I don't like this.
I know you don't. Right, I'm going to show you a trick with a pack of playing cards.
Okay. 52
cards, all there, all different. Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll give them one quick shuffle just so you know they're all mixed up. There we go.
Is this some sort of fancy show?
No, I'm just giving them a shuffle. Just give them a Pharaoh shuffle, that's all. And you're going to pick a card, okay?
Yeah.
So as I go through the deck, anytime you want to, just say stop.
Stop.
There, you sure?
Yeah.
Look at the card, remember, don't show me. And you can put it back in the pack any way you want to. And we'll leave it in there, square it up into the deck. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So I have to try and find your card, and I'm going to do that with my trusty Sharpie marker. See, most magicians have a magic wand. I don't have a magic wand, but I do have a Sharpie marker. See the logo, Sharpie?
Yeah.
If I just do this once, twice, 3 times, do you know what happens?
What?
That Sharpie marker magically changes into, look at that, it changes into a playing card. And if I just take the lid off, you're not going to believe this. What was the name of your card?
3 diamonds.
The 3 of diamonds. There you go. So Ryland doesn't like this. I'm not too keen on it either. The reason I'm not too keen on it, there's a few different reasons. We're going to go with it. Going to go through why. So first of all, I don't think you need a pull to do this. I think if you learn basic pen manipulation, you can do basically the same thing. So, for example,
I can make a pen disappear.
I know you can. Yes, flipstick, right? But that's what I was going to point out, right? Okay, so let me show. Okay, put it away. Put it away. Let me explain. So this is my rolled up 3 of diamonds that was used when I performed it for you a second ago. You know, if you're going to go down this route and you've got basic abilities to manipulate a pen or sleeving, you could just take the pen and squeeze and have it turn into the card, and I think that's just as good. And yeah, you could go, yeah, but with the pull, you know, blah, 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 but you could do this with the pull. If you like that, you could actually have a pull built onto a Sharpie cap. So you literally just have a real Sharpie and you do this and it pulls away, or you could use sleeving, or just palm it out, you know, so you could actually have here and squeeze and, you know, it turns into their card, but before you show the card, it turns back into the pen, then it turns into the card again and you open it up. The point is, you don't actually need the gimmick. You don't actually need the gimmick. And that's the other problem for me, without giving too much away, it doesn't even look like a Sharpie. This, for me, just doesn't look like a Sharpie. You get little stickers that you wrap around it and stuff, but yeah, I just don't think that looks like a Sharpie. And I could, you know, there's going to be people watching this that go, Craig, you're thinking like a magician. You know, your average layperson won't think that, and your average layperson will think, oh, that's a Sharpie. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I just think Sharpies are such a common object. I think it's fairly obvious that that's not a Sharpie, to be honest. So I don't think that the gimmick's required in order to do any of the handlings. Everything that you learn off there...
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what?
Exactly. Everything that you learn on the project, you don't really need a gimmick to be able to do it. So it's kind of this gimmick's been thrown in there for absolutely no reason at all. You can do it with basic manipulation, especially the handling that doesn't require the pull. I also think that it's an issue, and I do think it's an issue.
Oh, I see where you put the pull on.
I do think it's an issue that the card can't be signed. I think that, you know, why have you got a Sharpie in the first place? You know, you have a card, you have the Sharpie there to sign it, and then boom, it turns into the card.
Do they teach you how to force it?
Yeah, they teach everything on the tutorial's not so bad, even though there's no talking, it's not so bad. But yeah, I mean, that's an issue for me. I mean, they have no justification for bringing out the Sharpie. You know, it's just pick a card. Now I'm going to bring out this Sharpie, and it's going to turn into the card. In my opinion, if you're going to bring out a Sharpie, have it to sign the card, and then once they've signed the card, then you go into it or whatever. But my big issue with this is that the way to turn a Sharpie into a card is already out there. It's by Look Sharp. It's Look Sharp by Wayne Goodman and Alakazam Magic. I think that's the best way to do it because the magic happens in the hands of the spectator. They sign a card or they're using a pen in order to use it as a magic wand or whatever it is that you want to do. And then throughout the course of the routine, they're making that card come to the top of the deck or whatever. And then the card vanishes. And when they look at the pen has actually turned into the card. And when they open it, it's their card. And yes, it can't be signed, although on the latest project, Wayne has got ways of it actually being signed. But I think it's not as much of an issue with this because there's a whole bunch of time misdirection from when they've signed the card. That they put the pen in for a good reason. They've had the card signed, they hold on to the pen, they're using it as a magic wand, and then like 2 minutes later into the routine, it's turned into the card in the spectator's hand. Yeah. As opposed to this, which is you've had a card picked, you bring a pen out for no reason, it turns into the card. And they don't address this on the project at all. I just think it's not very good. And I think that it solves a problem that doesn't exist.
I'm going to give this minus 100%.
I don't think it's that bad. I'm going to give it 25%.
What?
I'm going to give it 25%. I wouldn't recommend it by any stretch of the imagination. I definitely don't think it's worth a negative score. I mean, I know you really hate it. When you saw it, you absolutely hated it. So you're entitled to your opinion, buddy. But I just don't think this is great. I think it's 25%. Minus.
You just said this is great.
I meant it's not great. I'm tired. It's not great. It's getting 25% from me. I wouldn't use it. I don't think anybody else would use it. And if you're thinking about buying this because you like...
the guy who made the trick is going to use
Yeah, and although the tutorial explains everything, they're not going into the nuances. No, that's the other thing. There's no live performances. There's studio performances, but there's no live performances, and that's just a bugbear of mine. You know, if you're going to perform this, if you're going to bring a product to market, there's no reason why you can't perform it to real people, either in a studio setting to real people or out and about at a bar or a club or whatever. There's no reason why you can't do that. So yeah, it's getting 25% from me, minus 100% from Ryland. It's not worth buying. Let's look at the final product. Okay, so the final product we have...
It's a stupid product.
Ryland hates this. Now, I would like to point out, I'm not as strong as he is on this.
I don't really like the COVID.
But this is called U-Test by Magic Dream and Jerome Sauloup.
It's like a COVID testing, but
it's
why would you do a magic trick on COVID? We've said this before.
I know, you got very offended with the linking mask thing, didn't you?
Yeah. We chuck it in the bin.
Ryland really hated COVID, didn't you? Like, you really didn't like being locked in the house. So anything that comes onto the show that has anything to do with COVID, he really, really doesn't like, because he doesn't like being reminded of being locked down. And the thing is...
You'll get this when you see the performance, but he's now working at a COVID centre.
Apparently I'm working, and you'll see this in a minute, I'm working at a COVID centre apparently. But the thing is, he's got a point. Like, at least over here in the UK at any rate, people don't want to be reminded of the whole COVID thing. You start bringing out something like this in a gig, and because it looks... I know they talk on the tutorial. Let me finish. They talk about this on the tutorial, but you don't have to reference it as a COVID test. You can reference it as anything, but it looks like a kind of a COVID test. I mean, I don't know how... They don't really give you any other ideas. I mean, it's... Yeah.
Test?
No, I mean, maybe you could talk about... I don't know. Maybe you could talk about a stupidity test. I don't know. I don't know. You know, you could maybe go down the route of, you know, there's tests for everything these days. Tests for COVID, tests to see if you're pregnant or not. This is a test to see if you're stupid. Let's see if you pass or not. I don't know. I don't know. But and
you can make it so everything's opposite.
So there's two main routines on here. The first routine is a little bit like a bank night type routine. So you bring out 5 tests. They pick one. The one that they pick is the only negative one, and the other ones are positive.
Which means they don't get the money you're betting.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could do it as kind of a money thing, couldn't you? And the other one, which is the one you're going to perform, is kind of like an out of this world where you've got 10 tests, and they choose whether you put it under positive or negative, and you show that you're completely correct. Let's get Ryland to perform that, because you also hate the method, don't you? So let's get Ryland to perform it so you can see exactly what it looks like, and then we'll talk about what we think.
Right, Dad?
Yes, mate?
I'm going to see if you can work in a COVID centre.
I'm a magician. I don't want to work in a COVID centre.
But we have a positive test and we have a negative test.
Okay, right. How does that help me work in a COVID centre?
Because I've got 10 other things here.
10 other tests?
10 other tests. 5 are negative, 5 are positive. And you've got to guess which one's which.
Move that forward a little bit. Okay, I've got to work out...
Where do you think that one...
Oh, you're putting it up there. Should we put this back here then? Sorry.
Where do you think this one belongs?
Negative. I think that's going to be...
Negative. This one?
That one there, yeah.
This one, okay. And where do you think this one's going to belong? That one or that one?
Positive.
Positive.
I'm positive it's positive.
Where do you think this one's going to... This one's going to go?
Positive.
Positive. This one?
Negative.
Negative.
Mm-hmm.
This one?
That one is definitely negative.
Definitely.
100% negative.
What about this one?
Also negative.
Also negative.
Mm-hmm.
This one?
Positive.
Positive, you're positive.
Yes.
Okay.
Positive.
Positive.
And negative.
Negative. Which means this one's going to have to be positive.
Yes, yes it is.
Okay, so let's see how you did with the negatives then. Alright, for the first one, you have got a negative.
Boom. Yeah, okay, okay.
Next one, you have got a negative.
Nice. I'm good at this.
Yeah, this is why you're about to work in a COVID centre. Negative.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Oh, do you think you've got it wrong or right?
I don't know.
You got it right.
No way.
Do you know what that means?
Have we got that one right as well?
That one's got to be right.
Oh.
Which means, obviously, And
Well, looks like I'm going to quit being a magician. I'm going to start working in the COVID testing centre.
yeah, looks like it.
Looks like I've got no choice. Okay, right, so that's the performance. Tell me why you don't like it. Give me all the different reasons. You've discussed the fact that it's COVID. I get that. Why else don't you like it? Number one.
Number two. Where would you put this? Because of how it works. Where the hell would you put it? You can't put it in your pocket. Can't put it in your close-up case.
That's a good point, actually.
Where would you put it?
Because obviously we don't want to expose the method, but the way that the method works, and to be honest, anyone that's got half a brain will probably realise how it works watching the performance. But we can't expose it. When how it works is if you put it into your pocket, it's going to destroy the gimmick, isn't it? And it's not going to destroy the gimmick, but it's going to render the gimmick unusable.
And once you've done it, if you figure out a way to take it, it takes like about 10 to 20 minutes.
It doesn't take 10 to 20 minutes.
It took me literally 10 minutes to
That's because you're rubbish at doing it.
I did everyone perfectly.
I reset it in 3 minutes.
It wasn't 3, it was 5.
I reset it in...
I got a timer. I had it down there. It was 5 minutes.
The point is, it's not an instant reset. In order to reset it, you'll have to go somewhere out the way. You'll have to take your...
For 3 hours.
You'll have to take something with you, which we're not saying what, in order to reset it. And it'll take a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, in order to reset it. And the more you reset it, the quicker you'll get. But when you're at a gig and you're trying to turn things around quickly, that's not great. The other thing is, you'll need a close-up pad, really, won't you?
Yeah, you really need a close-up.
You really do need a close-up pad. Now, they talk about how you can do it without a close-up pad by putting it into somebody's pocket, which might work with the first...
Yeah, that's just going to ruin the thing.
Yes, I wouldn't want to do that for a variety of different reasons. However, it might work with the first routine, but we're having to do it with 5 different tests. It definitely wouldn't work, so there's that to take into consideration. And the other thing is, when you do the move, without being too exposy about this, when you do the move, a lot of the time, the action of moving it to one side is what's meant to activate the gimmick. But a lot of the time, and you probably saw this on the performance, when you pick it up, it's not completely activated. So you then have to do something else before you turn it over, don't you?
Yeah.
Without giving too much away.
That's like number 5 or something.
I'm not as dead set against this as you are. I would never perform this.
-2 million.
Oh, shut up. Come on. I would never perform this at all. I think that the method is quite transparent. I think that any spectator that has half a brain would probably realise how this works.
If you had a quarter of a brain, you might be able to still do it.
And then obviously it isn't practical for the real world. It's not an instant reset. You need a close-up pad around with you. And also, like Ryland said at the very, very beginning, I don't think it's a good idea presentationally to have anything to do with COVID right now.
Or any sort of test.
Or any sort of test. Maybe if they brought it out in the middle of lockdown.
Someone actually died from this. They probably don't want you to giving them reminders that their friends died or something.
yeah, it's true. If they brought this out maybe in the middle of lockdown and you did it as a virtual thing and you did it as a, hey, you should make sure that you get tested thing. I don't know.
It might work for me.
You see, the thing is, I like Magic Dream as a company. I think they bring some great stuff out. You and I have reviewed a lot of their stuff that we really liked. Like that thing that you carry around with you all the time, the Tic-Tac box where you blow into it, that's Magic Dream. There's a lot of stuff that you really like that's Magic Dream. That one that we did recently where the lighter goes through the playing card. That's Magic Dream. No, it's not. That's Gentleman's Magic. Ignore me. Magic Dream have brought out a load of really good stuff anyway. I don't think this is the best trick that they've brought out. If the COVID thing doesn't bother you and you're in a situation where you can not have to worry too much about a reset and you have a close-up pad ideally, then this might work for you. If you like the performance or the trailer, then get it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give it minus. No, I'm not going to give it minus. I'm going to give it.
I'm going to give it minus.
I'm not. I'm giving it 25%. I feel the same way about this as I do about the pen. It's not terrible.
Minus
but
2 million.
Minus 2 million for right. You're in a bad mood today, aren't you? You're in a bad mood. Somebody stepped on your Lego or something. I'm going to give it I'm going to give it 25%. He's giving it minus 2 million. I think that's very harsh, but I don't think it's worth picking up.
And that's another review show in the bag. That's another review show in the bag. That's another review show in the bag.
It isn't a review show in the back. Are you tired? It is another review show.
It's really hot. I've got a jumper on.
Oh, you got a jumper on. Magic TV, you branded.
Yeah. I've got a t-shirt on as well.
Okay. Well, make sure that if you guys want to carry on watching our review shows, then make sure you tune in. Every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we are back with another review show. We review 4 or 5 items every single week. And don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. You can see, you can join the NETRIX now. They can join the NETRIX, can't they? By going to www.thenetrix.com and you can get access immediately.
It's been open over a month or something now.
Yeah, it's about a month and everybody's loving it. And don't forget, you can follow Ryland, who's now on over 3,300 Instagram followers. You're kicking my butt.
He's only on something like 2. I've got over 1,000 in him.
Yeah,
that's what we know.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, he's great. And I was checking out YouTube. It's on 650 subs. You're doing well with YouTube. There you go. So if you haven't already followed Ryland on Instagram or YouTube, please do so. We will be back again next Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
We'll see you again. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.